Good Thursday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it over the hump, and we're in the home stretch towards the weekend. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Thursday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. In today's Entertainment Spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with Chef Brad Kent, the co-founder and chief culinary officer of Blaze Pizza, discussing why March 14th, being Pi Day, shouldn't be a national pizza holiday. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with their Thursday headlines. In international news, airstrike hits Ukraine maternity hospital, 17 reportedly hurt. A Russian airstrike devastated a maternity hospital Wednesday in the besieged port city of Mariupol amid growing warnings from the West that Moscow's invasion is about to take a more brutal and indiscriminate turn. Ukrainian officials said at least 17 people were wounded in the attack. The ground shook more than a mile away when the Mariupol complex was hit by a series of blasts that blew out windows and ripped away much of the front of one building. Police and soldiers rushed to the scene to evacuate victims, carrying out a heavily pregnant and bleeding woman on a stretcher. Another woman wailed as she clutched her child. In the courtyard, mangled cars burned and a blast crater extended at least 2 stories deep. Today, Russia committed a huge crime, a top regional police official standing in the ruins said. It is a war crime without any justification. President Zelensky wrote on Twitter that there were people, children under the wreckage, and called the strike an atrocity. Videos shared by Zelensky showed cheerfully painted hallways strewn with twisted metal. There are few things more depraved than targeting the vulnerable and defenseless, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson tweeted, adding that Russian President Vladimir Putin will be held to account for his terrible crimes. Authorities, meanwhile, announced a new ceasefire Wednesday morning to allow thousands of civilians to escape bombarded towns around Kyiv. It was not immediately clear whether anyone was able to leave other cities, but people streamed out of Kyiv's suburbs, many headed for the city's center, as explosions were heard in the capital and air raid sirens sounded repeatedly. From there, the evacuees planned to board trains bound for western Ukrainian regions not under attack. Civilians leaving one Kyiv suburb were forced to make their way across the slippery wooden planks of a makeshift bridge because the Ukrainians blew up the concrete span leading to Kyiv days ago to slow the Russian advance. Nationwide, thousands are thought to have been killed, both civilians and soldiers, since Putin's forces invaded. The UN estimates more than 2 million people have fled the country, the biggest exodus of refugees in Europe since the end of World War II. In a related story, Zelensky seeks even tougher sanctions. The Ukrainian President Zelensky called on the West to impose even tougher sanctions on Russia after the airstrike on the maternity hospital in Mariupol. A genocide of Ukrainians is taking place, Zelensky said Wednesday in his daily late evening video address to the nation. Wearing his now traditional wartime army green, he said the West should strengthen the sanctions so Russia no longer has any possibility to continue this genocide. Zelensky again called on Western leaders to impose a no-fly zone over Ukraine, something NATO members have refused to do for fear of provoking a wider war with Russia. Short of that, Zelensky called for the delivery of more fighter jets to Ukraine, a proposal the Pentagon rejected on Wednesday. In national news, calls to suspend gas taxes across the U.S. grow as prices surge. With gas prices at record highs across the country, an increasing number of governors and state lawmakers are calling for the suspension of gas taxes to provide relief to motorists who are facing the prospect of even higher pump prices as the country cuts off Russian oil imports. Proposals for a gas tax holiday to counter inflation have been moving slowly in Congress and state capitals before Russia invaded Ukraine, but they have gained momentum this week amid surging prices that averaged $4.25 a gallon on Wednesday, according to AAA. Republican legislative leaders in Michigan and Pennsylvania announced proposals Wednesday to suspend or reduce state gas taxes. That came after the Republican governor of Georgia and Democratic governor of California both called for relief from state gas taxes on Tuesday when President Joe Biden ordered a ban on Russian oil imports. In more national news, U.S. man who got first pig heart transplant dies after 2 months. The first person to receive a heart transplant from a pig has died 2 months after the groundbreaking experiment the Maryland hospital that performed the surgery announced on Wednesday. David Bennett, 57, died Tuesday at the University of Maryland Medical Center. Doctors did not give an exact cause of death, saying only that his condition had begun deteriorating several days earlier. Bennett's son praised the hospital for for offering the last-ditch experiment, saying the family hoped it would help further efforts to end the organ shortage. And finally, in business news, stocks jumped most since June 2020 as oil prices fall sharply. Stocks rallied for their biggest gain in nearly 2 years Wednesday as a sharp drop in oil prices eased fears that inflation was about to get worse around the globe. The S&P 500 climbed 2.6%, its biggest increase since June 2020. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 2%, and the Nasdaq Composite jumped 3.6%. The gains snapped a 4-day losing streak for the major indexes, though they remained on pace for weekly losses. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, it's all yours.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Investigate new ideas. Expand your worldview by questioning traditional beliefs. As you become receptive to the wide range of beliefs that exist in our world, you expose yourself to new ideas, thoughts, cultures, and even foods. This provides you with a greater awareness of the world around you. It is this new awareness level that allows you to question your beliefs and values. Even though it may seem like turning away from the traditional is not something you can or want to do, this questioning behavior helps you to progress further on your life journey. When you truly inquire and mix ideas from other worldviews, you can come to a realization of the values, thoughts, or ideas that meet your own needs. Today, investigate new ideas and enjoy the day.
We are part of my conversation coming up with Chef Brad Kent, the co-founder and chief culinary officer of Blaze Pizza, in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Chef Brad Kent, the co-founder and chief culinary officer of Blaze Pizza, joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about March 14th being Pi Day and why it shouldn't be a national pizza holiday. Here's a bit of our conversation.
All of my friends, Chef Brad, know that I could literally eat pizza every day. And I'm not the only one. Typically, when we think about March 14th being Pi Day, of course, we like to do a play on words, but we do think about pizza. Why do you think that's a day that we should think of as a national pizza holiday?
Well, math is hard, and maybe an easier way of getting kids and adults to pay attention in math is just to slice the pizza away and figure out the equation of area. So perhaps that one would be a good reason. Otherwise, any reason to celebrate pizza, as you just kind of said, is a good reason. And why not do it on 3/14 as well as on 3/15, 16, and 17?
Okay, there you go. So, I mean, as people are looking for creative ways, I know I'm already planning on doing some things, doing actually a live Instagram for Pi Day this year, actually being able to make some homemade pies for the family. How can our audience then make the most of Pi Day this year?
Well, I think the best way to do it, I've got nothing at stake here, is to get the Blaze app and then go to sign up for our rewards, and you will be offered then a $3.14 pizza. So you can go to any Blaze location anywhere in the country and walk down the assembly line, and of our 42 unique toppings, you could build a pizza to your absolute heart's desire and liking. And again, that price, $3.14, it's kind of an amazing deal.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversation Daily News. We'll be back to you guys on tomorrow to wrap up this week. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversation Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.